Hey folks, Mick here. Welcome back to the channel. Like in the past couple of videos, we're gonna first talk about the areas we've used to level up, and we're gonna go into tips and tricks. We've continued to level our Mesmer from level 50 to 70. I was debating taking it all the way to 80, but I want to try something else for that portion, so I cut it a little short. This took approximately 10 hours, which is consistent with the levels per hour from the last two videos. Maybe a little longer, but I might have slack off a bit. Level 50 to 70 was really uneventful. Still the same, no story, just map completion and exploration, as that seems to work well and takes us one step closer to 100% map completion. We finished off Loner's Pass, a small portion remaining from the last video, completed Bloodtide Coast, Sparkfly Fen, and Mount Maelstrom. Undoubtedly, majority of the experience came from the exploration of these areas, especially the Hearthstone events. But doing dailies was a major contributor to our leveling efforts. Something new in this video that was not on the other video is doing the Tequaral World Boss event. We started doing tech at level 55, which is low for the area, but worth the trouble. Plus there are loads of people, so it's pretty okay. I've approximated getting half a level per tech event. This equated to 2.5 levels over 5 days to achieve the 20 levels. While we're on the topic of dailies and Tequaral, let's talk about their benefits. I've mentioned this a couple of times already. Dailies give us 2 golds plus XP upon completion, but there's one particular easy daily that's worth quite a bit and that you should not miss, and this is Mystic Forger. For the Mystic Forger, you simply have to use the Mystic Forge, and that's it. It gives you a Mystic Coin, which is about another 2 golds if you sell it at the trading post. Tequaral gives you 1 gold per day, but also a good amount of karma, and good gear you can use for leveling up. Doing both will net you 3 to 5 golds per day. Back to map completion. 2 of the mentioned maps gave us a Black Lion key upon completion. From one of them, we got a skin that's worth 70 gold, which is pretty good considering we're not really targeting that. Just a lovely addition to what we're trying to achieve. As promised from the previous video, we are using power damage for this portion of our leveling experience. So how does it feel playing around with power damage? Well, it feels more active and more dynamic. Really, the goal is to just outdamage and destroy your target faster than they can destroy you. With that said, we need the appropriate gear for a power build. We picked gear with the strong or hunter prefixes, whichever was cheaper on the trading post. We also got a great sword and sword focus as our weapon choices. But as we progress through the levels, we may loot gear that has the Berserker prefix. At this point, switch out your strong or hunter gear and use Berserker instead. A proper build would also help. You'll want to take Domination, Dueling, or the Illusion Straight Line for a power build. Any combination of these 3 will work well. But to be honest, I still kept my old mobility build, Chaos and Inspiration, and I still stand behind my mentality that mobility is more useful than anything else in open world. Of course, if you have mounts, then you'll have more flexibility, as they provide a good amount of mobility. So just how do we play Power Mesmer? Let's start with sword focus. If there are multiple targets, then I open with a Temporal Curtain into the Void, focus 4, to pull all the targets into a point. Then use Illusionary Leap, sword 3 to produce a clone, then Blurred Frenzy, and while still in the animation, also use Mind Rack F1 to shatter myself and the clone. If there are still targets that have substantial amount of HP, then use Phantasmal Warden, focus 5 on them. The Greatsword is also good for bursting, but you have no way of pulling targets together, so it's best to use it on single targets. There is nothing stopping you from opening with a focus pull and quickly switching to a Greatsword, but that's just a waste of weapon swap. For the Greatsword burst, cast Mirror Blade, Greatsword 2, make sure that you're close enough or that there is a secondary target in order to provide the chance for the skill to bounce between targets and do more damage. The first hit creates a clone. As soon as the clone appears, you could use Mind Rack, immediately followed by Mind Stab, Greatsword 3. These are just the basic bursts you could do for each weapon sets. There are many other ways and other skills you can tack onto it, but this should suffice for open world purposes. Well, that's it folks. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it useful. This is Mick. Until the next one.